Welcome back to Planes and Trains, and the first thing I want to talk about is what's going on with the channel. There hasn't been a whole lot of new content because, well, I really haven't done anything new with the layout. That's like if you were to go over to Eric's Trains, you'll find at one point there was a long gap, several months back in the beginning when he was first doing videos, and that's even what he explained. I haven't done anything new with the layout. I haven't bought any new trains. So same thing here. I've been in kind of a stall point for the last year or so, where I really haven't had a whole lot of stuff to add to the layout. That should be changing. Hopefully at the end of this year I should be able to take advantage of some holiday sales and finish the track plan on the lower level. I may soon start adding in an upper level. We'll see. There's another change coming to the channel. What goes on behind the scenes that you don't get to see is that I've been doing a lot of video editing. What ends up happening is I'll touch my face, or I'll have a cough, and I'll go right from my cough to talking. There's Kimchi. Hi, buddy. There's going to be some changes in that. I have to keep in mind that if I cough, pause, and then continue talking what I'm saying, because what's ended up happening is I'm cutting one thought, talking very rapidly, having to cut off a section in mid-word. And so that's a lot of the stuff. It makes it sound very choppy and very, so I'm going to be a little bit more mindful about how I do the filming. And another thing I'm going to be trying filming every episode at least 3 times. This will give me, I can cut here, edit here. If it's a procedural video where I'm showing how to paint something, obviously I can't paint it 3 times. But all other videos, I'm going to try to do it at least where it's a talking segment with long sections of talking. I'm going to try to do that 3 times, and that way I've got better editing to take, editing choices. Because when you've only got one video and you have to cut it here and take out this chunk right here, but this is in mid-word, you don't get that freedom. And sometimes by the 3rd time I say something, it comes out a lot shorter and a lot better. I noticed that when I lost my audio in a couple episodes and I had to do voiceovers, worked a lot better. So that's another thing that'll be happening with the channel. The new Lionel system is out, the new legacy system. I still don't have that. That's also in the plans to have that by December. I just had a lot of expenses over the last year, upgrading my other, hobbies. And so I really wasn't able to take advantage of a lot of what you're seeing in the channel. Okay, so last but not least, the biggest change coming to the channel is one you really shouldn't notice too much. You'll notice to a certain extent, you won't notice it too much. So let me explain it this way, and I'll try to collect my thoughts on this. I've been pretty active in promoting Filmora. You'll have noticed that every one of my videos, it would start with the name of the video. That would go away, and then you'd see the same title pop up and say made with Filmora. I'm getting increasingly more unhappy with Filmora, and a number of reasons. There was a couple upgrades where it seemed like nothing happened. One time it said this is our fastest upgrade ever, and so I downloaded it, and it turned out it wasn't. And I was enrolling in their beta program pretty regularly and getting the updates that were coming in and installing them, and get to send them some feedback. I like this, I don't like that. They fixed a couple of things. I had a good working relationship with Filmora, but recently they gave me a notice that I have purchased a lifetime license. You have to do that to be able to do Filmora without the watermarks. So Filmora, the time before last when I upgraded, I got a notice that this may incur a charge to upgrade. And so I checked, and it says your license allows you to this upgrade. And I thought, that's pretty peculiar wording. And I'm trying to be careful here. I'm not trying to bear false witness. After all, they do, it still says on their website, I checked on my license, in the software it says I have a lifetime license. I checked on their website, it still says I have a lifetime license. But I was getting a little unsatisfied with some of the things that were going on with Filmora. Nothing they were doing you know, I wanted to go a little bit more professional. You'll remember me saying in the beginning that I'd learned how to use DaVinci Resolve, and I'd learned how to use Lightworks also. And these were two professional video editing suites. They make movies with these, motion pictures and TV. Well, I've been looking into the possibility of upgrading into Premiere Pro, and I found out that Premiere Pro is $21 a month. And right now, Filmora, which is trying to force its buyers to go into a subscription mode, kind of like that, where you would pay X number of dollars a month, and they want to charge more than you would for Adobe Premiere Pro. They're asking me to pay $50 a month for me to subscribe to FilmStock, where I could get all of these titles, all of these transitions, all of these elements and other things. And I was enjoying a lot, but I was finding out more and more and more as I was going along that I actually wasn't using a lot of the stuff I was getting from them. So as a result, I'm getting all this stuff, downloading it on my computer, and I've decided when they started, you know, with your license allows you to upgrade to this version, I'd already hit a point where I was a little annoyed with Filmora, because when I paid the license, they gave me a incentive of a license to 12 video, they call them titles. And what it is, it's a video background, and it has a template on it that all you have to do is type in you replace the stock wording with your own title. And so you'll have seen that I did that with Planes and Trains. You know, the logo is one of those kind of things, and I've used a couple of the other ones, you know, that were more martial arts oriented, and you know, things like that. And I thought, well, that's really cool, I like that. But they took them away. I had a license to them as an incentive, and then they took that license away. So that's not a good way to run your company at all. And when companies start doing that, I very quickly began turning to what's the alternative, what's the competition. If you have a company, have a focus group, decide on what you're going to offer for free, and stick to your guns on that. And don't offer something for free and then later say, yeah, we shouldn't have offered that for free, we need to charge for that. I'm sorry, you should have done the focus group and done the work in the beginning to decide that. If you're offering me something as an incentive to pay you money to get a lifetime license, that's part of the lifetime license. Now, you may have on your own generosity said, I want to offer this as part of the upgrade incentive, but you're bundling that and you can't take that away. And if you take that away, I begin looking elsewhere. So bottom line, I decided to go ahead and upgrade to Premiere Pro. I have uninstalled Filmora off my computer. I don't know if I'll ever go back to it. I think that's run its course in my workflow. I have found that Premiere Pro actually processes the video much faster than in Filmora. There were times with Filmora I would have to create these proxy files, and it would take forever to be able to work with the video. I don't have that same problem with Premiere Pro. And also, it clutters up huge chunks of my hard drive. And every time I'm saving something, it's creating these massive, you know, temporary files. And you know, it would bundle it all in the actual file name. And so you're looking at 15 megabytes here, 40 megabytes there. Pretty soon we're talking half a hard drive just for Filmora. So when I uninstalled it, it was one of those things, uninstall it, and I use Wise Uninstaller, and it didn't leave all that much stuff behind in the registry. I was able to clean all that out pretty quickly. And then I went to find all of the shadow stuff it leaves on the hard drives, you know, Filmora this, or you know, these temporary files and folders, and that was 60 gigabytes of junk I pulled off my computer. All the little temporary files, installation files. They used to install their temporary files to this directory when they first started out, but then sometime around Filmora or whatever, they decided to start putting it in this other directory. So I had some things that were in 5 or 6 different spots on my computer because, you know, Filmora 7 would look for it over here, and then Filmora 9 would look for it over here, and then the latest one, Filmora 12, is looking for it over here, and it's reinstalling, and then, you know, constantly. So it's a huge chunk of my hard drive that I just freed up. So I'm probably not looking back to Filmora, and I'm going to be doing everything in Premiere Pro, and you will start seeing, you know, as I'm doing stuff, better editing, better film video quality just from all that. And that's all behind the scenes stuff. You shouldn't notice too much of that. You may notice the video looking a little bit better. Last but not least, the shorts. Shorts are irritating. If I wanted TikTok, I would sign up for TikTok. I wish YouTube wasn't going in this direction. But I get the creator newsletters, and they're making it really clear. If you read carefully what they're saying, they're telling you that part of the algorithm is caught up in the shorts. If your channel has a certain, continues to produce shorts, you stay high up in the algorithm, and it's easier for me to get subscribers, which that's another thing that annoys me about the shorts. I can't stand the putting your phone up like this. And some of my other people who watch my channel have said something about it. You're supposed to have it horizontal. I understand. I agree 100%. Filmography is supposed to have it landscape and not portrait. If you're filming portrait, it's amateur night. Correct way to do it is landscaping. So you put it landscape orientation, it films better, but if you have it in the portrait, because that's how TikTok is set up, YouTube is being beaten by TikTok, so we can see the writing on the wall, you've got to continue to produce shorts. I don't like that. I love my trains. Obviously, I started out with an HO layout. Didn't have enough room to do everything I wanted in it because I was living in a very small place. It's funny now, I think back and say, wow, if I had the HO layout in here, there's a million things I could have a mega layout with the amount of room I got now. But I'm doing Lionel because I liked you can turn the train on and the train is going to run. And that was problems that I had with HO, and definitely was hugely problems I had with N scale. Is that N scale, anything of a more than 0.4% incline, it's not going to climb the hill. You have to spend the high dollar for N scale, and usually those were train engines I really didn't like that much. They're more set for diesel than they are for steam, and I like big steam. I like 484s, Northerns, and that kind of thing. I'll take Mountains and Pacifics, love those. I'll even take Berkshires, Mikados. I love all the big steam. That's really where my heart's at. And Lionel's starting to put out some really nice looking diesels, so I'm going to eventually get some modern diesels and throw that on there. Some ATSF, some Burlington Road. We'll see. Probably even some Norfolk and Western, Norfolk and Southern stuff. So anyway, that's what's going on behind the scenes, and that's what you're seeing. I'm sorry about the shorts. I don't like them either, but unfortunately, that's kind of what they're putting on YouTube creators, is that you've got to have a certain number of shorts to keep yourself up in the algorithm. I mean, I think some of the best train videos I'm enjoying on YouTube are the guys that have this train runs on this track, and this train runs on this track, and this train runs on this track. And you know what? I've even stopped watching the videos of the guys that have the 64 by 128 foot O gauge layouts. That's those massive things. I'm not a big fan of those. I prefer 5 by 7, 8 by 10, even 9 by 10. Once it starts getting above 14 feet, I lose my interest, because I can't have something that size, and there's no use looking and saying, wow, I could have a huge, if I had owned a warehouse. I don't own a warehouse, so there's no point in even watching those videos, because anyone can do a lot if you have a warehouse. Anyone can do a lot if you have a museum. I want to see good, honest, classic trains running on a layout, and I enjoy it. Give me 2 minutes of that, 60 seconds of that. You can put up 50 videos of trains running for 60 seconds, and it's great, and I'll come back to that all day long. Anyway, that's enough. It's not so much a rant as it is an update. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, tell me what kind of content you'd like to see, and we will see you next time. Bye.